James here for Red Tractor Nation. I'm here today in Friendship, Wisconsin. I'm with Andy and Beth Debruin, and they are from New London, Wisconsin. Andy is a great collector, and Beth is his acquisitions boss. Because she finds the tractors and he buys them. Isn't that kind of how it works?
Sometimes, I guess.
Sometimes?
Or
Okay.
she's just a financial backer sometimes.
Is that what she is? She's a financial backer? Now, okay, that's how you unload a tractor. Okay.
You want to start from the beginning?
No, I'm not starting over. I'm keeping every bit of that.
Let me take a video.
I'm sure all three of us just looked over there like, what the heck? Andy, how'd you meet Beth?
Her mom was my mom's sister's husband's cousin, and so we got her parents.
Wait a minute. I thought y'all were from Wisconsin, not Tennessee.
But her parents would come over by my aunt and uncle to play cards and that, and so we'd play. I got to know her parents, and a few times her parents brought her along.
They play euchre?
Sheep's head.
I don't even know what that is. I was taking a shot at it.
So we'd start playing cards and that a few different times, so I knew her, and then one day we went over for a 4th of July party, and she invited me on a 4-wheeler ride, and that was that.
Oh, wow.
And well, being her parents had farm, and her parents bled red too, and so kind of was a natural fit.
A natural fit. IH girl, IH boy. Now, you grew up on a dairy farm?
Correct.
Dairy farm, and you?
We had a dairy hobby farm, plus my dad worked full-time, and so we both had similar backgrounds. Just that her parents had newer and better tractors than my dad did, because my dad would never admit to being a collector, but almost all of his tractors he had to buy and fix up to use. So my dad was kind of a collector.
So he was a collector who bought what he needed, rather than having the kind of that freedom to buy just what you want.
Well, like her dad bought a couple of tractors brand new off the assembly line. Now, when my dad wanted a 1086, he bought one that was burned.
Okay.
And restored it back to being operational so that he could get one that he could afford.
Okay. All right, so you're just trying to say you married up.
Yep.
Which you definitely did.
Yeah, because her dad got the joys of driving his 806 off the assembly line. Not many people can say that.
Not many
you got to
people
drive
can
your new
say that.
tractor off the Farmall plant's assembly line.
That is so cool. That's really cool. So, I've heard a story about Beth's engagement ring.
Yep,
So tell me this. I'm going to let her tell it. You guys step over here closer to him. Act like you like him still.
Okay. It's been 17 years, you know.
Okay, well, you've gotten used to him now.
Yep. Well, when we were
figure
dating,
you can't get out of the handcuffs at night now, huh?
Yep. When we were dating, I fell in love with the W9 tractor, and I said, well, you don't have to buy me an engagement ring if you bring me a W9 tractor. One day he went to an auction. He bought a W6.
Epic fail!
He brought it in the yard, and he said, I wanted to ask me to marry him. I said, that ain't no W9. Try again. So then a while later, it was Simcoe weekend. He proposed to me with a ring.
With a ring, because he just couldn't find a W9 in fast enough.
Well, that, and I was going to put the ring on the steering wheel of the 1020 that I just restored, but the 1020 wouldn't start to go to the show. So that plan fell out.
But even getting off to the rough start with no W9 and a 1020 that won't start, she ended up with a beautiful ring. 17 years now, and you got two of these Yahoos back here.
Yep.
Who's on the tractor back there on the British tractor?
That's our son Levi.
Okay, how old's Levi now?
He just turned 13 last Saturday.
And he has grown about 2 feet since I've seen him in Oak Creek a few years ago. And Miss back here, hanging off.
Miss Carolyn just turned 6 in June.
She has been hanging all over that tractor. I came around the corner a few minutes ago. All of a sudden, the thing acted like she's got her foot on a starter, starting it up. I jumped back. I thought, that was the end of me. I'm going to be wearing that tire for a necklace.
Well, that's why most of my tractors are
kill
crank
switch.
start. I shouldn't be having electric start tractors for that reason.
Just because of her. What happens when she actually starts driving a car? You fear for your life?
Well, yeah, because she does have a Power Wheels Dodge Viper right now, and she has smashed it up already. Crazy woman driver.
Well, Andy, I've got 6 daughters. I taught them all to drive. I survived. And I only take a few nerve pills now. All right, so what else do you guys do? I know you have behind us here, you have a milking machine that you're running with a stationary engine, and
Yep.
it's McCormick Dairying. Tell us about that.
It's a 1935 horse-and-a-half Model LA, and it's running a McCormick Dairying vacuum pump for milking cows. And then we did collect. I bought the engine. One of my jobs I had years ago was I worked for an auction company, and we were having an auction for a junkyard. And this engine was sitting in the old outhouse behind there. We're cleaning.
Why would you need a vacuum pump and a white?
Well, it didn't have the vacuum pump. It was just the engine.
I'm messing with you.
Use your imagination. That could go so many places. And it might go down into the gutter, aka sewer.
Okay. Just the engine was in the outhouse, which that befuddles me as well. Not the vacuum pump.
So I bought the engine out, and I'd gotten it running. I couldn't get it to run right, so it sat for a number of years. And then I was at an auction, and I bought the pail part of a milker bucket, and the guy comes over to me, and I bought it because it was IH milker bucket.
Okay.
And the guy comes up, he says, "Do you want the vacuum pump to go with that bucket?" And so we went the next day, and we took the vacuum pump out of the barn. The electric motor was missing, and then we went to work over the next couple of years finding the parts to put buckets back together, so we ended up with some extra buckets and that, and then finally it clicked into my head after looking in the right brochure that you could run this vacuum pump with the gas engine.
Off the stationary engine.
I'm like, so that was original to do it that way, and they also did have a cart originally where you could walk it down the barn to milk the cows. So I finally got it figured out, so I went to work and redid the engine to get the engine to run right, and redid the vacuum pump so that it would work, and read through the manuals to figure out how to do the pulsators on the buckets to get the pulsators to work right. So now it's a fully operational unit, even though we don't milk real cows with it.
Don't milk it. We only milk the wood cutout cow over there. And why did y'all make the wood cutout, Beth?
Because everyone would walk across and say, "What is it?" So I said, "We're going to cut out a cow and we're going to make a cow so people don't keep asking what it is."
What is it? Okay.
And everybody was joking. Now that we have the milk machine, we need a real cow. Well, we go to Texas way too often.
They have to have
somebody to milk my cow.
While you're gone, no, that'd be a hassle. Now you had what I considered a little bit of an honor, is that we're going to wait for the barrel train to go past first. Wave at the kids. Kids are not very. I know that kid. He stole something out of my yard. All right. Now, I thought it was quite an honor. This milking setup that you have here got housed somewhere for a while. Where was that?
Not this setup. We have a cream separator.
Oh, cream separator.
We have a cream separator I didn't bring along today that ended up being at the Chicago History Museum for 2 years.
Very nice.
They were looking for a 4S. They wanted for their Modern by Design exhibit, and they were running ads, and I'm like, well, somebody else, you don't have to come all the way up to Wisconsin to find a cream separator. But lo and behold, they couldn't find one anywhere else. And so I got a hold of the lady, and she says, that's exactly what we're looking for. So I restored it, and they got housed in a glass case in Chicago for about 2 years and got brought back.
That's
and when
very cool.
it just came back in January, and it was kind of funny. The one guy that delivered it, he looked like he was an old rock star, you know, with the whole get up and everything. And it turned out back in the day, he had an International Scout was his mode of transportation.
That's great. All right, so at home we've got let's start with the restored ones. Start with the first one. Hey, there she is.
Well, we have the 4S cream separator in the house. I forget the number of the other cream separator we got in the house here. It's all original, beautiful original condition. And we keep our milk machine here in the house. Makes a nice little ornament in the corner.
Conversation starter. What's that?
And of course we got a 2 IH freezers in the house and an IH refrigerator
Wow.
that we use. I do have a backup freezer out in the shed too, just in case if one goes bad.
Dad, look at the puppy. Look at the puppy.
What, are you trying to be Irma Harding of Wisconsin?
Yeah,
She was supposed to be Irma.
yeah.
Well, you were going to name her Irma?
I wanted to name her Irma, and
I said, no way. I said, kids are cruel.
No. Oh my gosh. So we got some household products. Got a 1 or 2 tractors?
oh, just a couple. I think we're at about 28 or 29 now, I think.
And I hear that the British-made utility back here that we have, that was spotted by Beth,
Yep.
and she told you, hey, go over and get that.
Yeah, it was her co-worker was trying to get rid of it and wanted to get rid of it for a while, and so we made it a point on Labor Day weekend. Me and Levi hopped in the truck and trailer and went over and looked at it, and it wasn't what he told her it was, but I saw the condition it was in and knew he wanted to move it, and the price was right. So I handed him the cash, and on the trailer it went, and it came home with us.
And it's at the show now.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, got it. This is our last show of the season, so I might as well bring it out.
Might as well bring it along. Got to be proud of that new find, man.
Yep.
Just show it off. I'm excited to see it here today. And behind us we have your W4.
Yep.
Great shape, beautiful condition. What would you say the average length of a restoration for you is?
Well, it just depends on, obviously things take longer nowadays because the busier you get, the less time you have to work on the
Oh,
projects.
you got to do that family stuff all the time?
Yeah.
And that work
Well,
thing?
like this one here had a blessing in disguise. We had found, she saw a sign for it at the Baraboo show, and we got talking to the guy, and he told us the deal on it, and she says, hey, I got a bonus coming from work. I'm going to buy that tractor for you with my bonus. Cool. So we went to pick it up, and it was all tore apart. The engine was out, the sheet metal was all off. It was basically just a rolling chassis. So the engine, the spare engine, everything else is in the box of the truck. And we loaded it all up, we brought it home, and it's
like a puzzle piece, huh?
Exactly, and the neighbors are all coming past seeing it. They're like, well, you're taking that for scrap, right? I'm like, no, it's going back together. They're like, well, how do you know how to put it together? He says, like a puzzle. Everything fits back together, you put it back together. And so it sat for probably about a year or so, and I got a bonus from work, so I started buying, went and I bought the tires and this and that, and I'm like, now I got a good start, I can get at her, and I went through the engine, the transmission, everything is already all apart, you might as well go the rest of the way.
Okay, so let me ask you, Andy, is a tractor like an IKEA bunk bed, where the first one takes you an hour and a half to put together, and by the time you get to the third one, it's like a half an hour?
Well, kind of.
Kind of.
But I haven't really done.
Familiar you are with it and how they work.
But every one of them is
Easier
always
just
a
to
learning
figure out.
curve because, knock on wood, I've never really did the same one twice.
Oh no.
So each time you go to a new one, it's always a new learning process. So yeah, you build on your knowledge, but you're also learning at the same time.
Well, they changed this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They improve, they delete some things,
Yep.
and you go, hey, this doesn't have one of those. Now what do I do?
And I'd gotten it so that the engine was all back together, all redone, and I started, the sheet metal was so pitted on here that I had to sandblast the sheet metal. There was no way to sand it because this tractor spent its working life in a fertilizer plant.
Oh my gosh.
It had a blade on the front and a hand pump on the platform. That's why it was so pitted, I was told.
Yep.
And so I had already had it sandblasted, and I'd welded the, Carolyn, get down please. And I did the welding and that had to be done. Well, then I was in an accident where I broke my leg. I ended up off work for 10 weeks. And she's like, you're not laying in my house for 10 weeks.
Doing nothing.
No, she says, as soon as you can get up, you're getting off the couch. You can ride my four-wheeler out to the shop. I'm getting you a chair for in the shop. And so luckily I had the work done I did so I could start the body work done on the sheet metal. So while I was off, all I could do is sit there, but I did all my body work and that on the sheet metal to get it all new. And then when I got well enough, then she helped me. We had a pull start because I didn't have a starter on it yet. And we got it running. You know, you're hobbling around on one leg trying to get it running and everything else. And we got it running. And then when I got well, Carolyn. And we got her running good. And of course, you know, I found more stuff wrong that the guy, like the chassis bolted to the transmission, the guy loosened those bolts up when he took it apart. I'm wondering why is there
Didn't
oil
really need
leaking
to do
out?
that.
So then I had to use the chain hoist to lower myself down onto the creeper to crawl under to reach up in there with the swivels and extensions and tighten the bolts all up. And
Where there's a will, there's a way, huh?
it's like, that's why there's a chain hoist in this shop. It's not just for lifting tractor parts.
It's for raising and lowering Andy when he's got a broken leg. Oh my goodness.
So it ended up being a blessing in disguise that it gave me the time to get at it, to get all the work done that I wouldn't have had time otherwise. And I mean, really, when I actually got at it, it was about a year, you know, start to finish. I'm working on it to get her done.
Okay. So we got a year's time and innumerable hours in it. All right, Beth, dream tractor now. Next dream tractor. Did you ever get the W9?
We did. We have quite a collection. We have a W9. We have a ID9 that we.
We don't have a W9 anymore. The one gentleman that was here before.
Oh, the other guy bought it from you.
Yeah, he bought it from me when we bought the industrial. Like, we got the industrial. The industrial's a more rare tractor than the W. So we're going to sell the W, and her favorite color is yellow. So the industrial will get painted yellow. So that's the plan when we get the industrial going.
Okay. So we got the I9. And is that it? Is that what you want? What you got your eye on?
I think I'm tractored out. I think we have.
Oh no! Oh no! You done pushed her over the edge.
Well, she seems to have this nose for deals there. That's the only reason why we've been ending up with more.
So if I give you a list of my wish list, then you'll be on the lookout for me, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, gosh, she's handy to have around, man. Oh my goodness.
I tell her she's got the luck.
She got the luck? Well, the guy yesterday that we were talking to while we were interviewing him, he won the 50-50 raffle here, so maybe we'll get lucky and find another really cool tractor somewhere, right? Maybe some of that luck that rubs off on me will stay in me one of these days. I don't know what the deal is. All right, so you've got Andy's Antiques. Now, tell me about Andy's Antiques.
Well, we just decided, start having neighbors and friends asking me to work on their stuff, and it's like, well, you know, you see a lot of people go around to the shows and they put a name or whatever on their vehicle or whatever. And it's like, well,
we need a name and some marketing for our collection.
And you know, I started making some parts, and so
I saw one of your tractors you fabricated a fender for.
Yep, I made fenders actually for 2 tractors now, and I gave my card to the gentleman that's F12 here because he's looking for fenders. And
I know a guy that can make those.
So now we kind of one of those things, you got to do a little side work every now and then to help finance the
other habit?
Yeah. The reinvestment.
Gotta feed that money back in them red tractors.
Yep.
Well, you guys are just a fantastic couple. I really enjoy talking to you guys. Every time I see you at a show, we have such a great time. And I love the little yahoos. They're fantastic. And you guys keep it up, okay? Andy, thanks for spending time with us. Beth, love you to death. And you guys just keep on collecting for us. We gotta keep this old stuff running, man. Don't let it go to the scrapyard and in the dumpster. Now, if you enjoy old tractors as much as we do, remember to check us out on Instagram. We got a Facebook page that has pictures on it every day and interaction with those who collect just like we do. And we got a bunch of videos over on our YouTube channel at Red Tractor Nation. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.